So what if I say to you, we're going to demonstrate this thing called anchoring, and some of you may have already read or heard or know what anchoring is. So we're going to play with this thing called anchoring, and I want you to anchor 3 times. Now you'll know how to anchor 3 times, but in the same situation or the same context. So let's say, for example, if I said, right, we're going to do an exercise and we'll anchor a feeling of, I don't know, if we take it on as glowing, anchor glowing. And it'll all we go, oh, I can anchor glowing now, that's fantastic. And somebody will say, could I use this to anchor curiosity? Yeah, you could do, yeah. And somebody else says, could I use it to anchor happiness? Yes, you could use it to anchor. And somebody else says, could I use it to anchor like a feeling of motivation? Yes, you could use it for that as well. And eventually somebody's going to ask what? Or say what?
You can use this to anchor anything.
Yes. Yes. That's right. So what's the purpose of doing, we're going to anchor first using a touch, and then we'll anchor with words or sounds, and then we'll anchor with visualizations, and we'll anchor with, what's the purpose of looking at, playing with different ways of anchoring then?
Can you make anchors doing anything?
You mean you could do anything as an anchor? Yes, because if you know that you can use anything as an anchor, and you can anchor anything in terms of a response, then that must mean there's a rule up here about anchoring and how it works. And we can discover what that rule is. And if we know what that rule is, what does that mean for us?
Universally applicable.
Which means?
Just maybe we don't any specific.
Okay, which means?
We're creating meaning.
And you can use it when, in what kind of situation?
Anywhere, anytime, anywhere?
Yes! In practice every minute of every day. Exactly. So, what I'd like to do is demonstrate the simple version, which will be a touch on the arm, and then I'll ask you to pair up, and have a practice with it for a few minutes. Everybody happy with that? Fantastic. Who would like to help me demonstrate? Okay. Thank you. You can choose which side you like to sit. That one okay with you?
Yep.
And is it okay with you, for the purposes of this, that I touch you kind of here in the inside of the elbow, sort of on the arm there? Is that okay with you? Sorry, I'm just going to stop this from... well, you know.
Permission on video evidence.
Yeah, exactly that. Nobody could accuse me of being considerate. So, first of all, could you think of, at the moment I don't need a particular example, but can you think of a particularly strong or preferably pleasant state, feeling, emotional response that you'd like to have easy access to? Yeah? And what's that one?
I was thinking of it before. I was like, oh, I'd really love an anchor for spiritual ecstasy.
So that... Okay. So that's actually...
It's almost embarrassing. I had this moment when I was driving in. You were talking about the frost and the mist.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. It's like God kissing.
Like that?
Yeah, just like that.
So, okay. We'll talk about that later. But for now, for the purposes of... Sorry? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll talk about what I just said later. But for now, we'll do it, we'll do it by the book, okay? Start with, I won't cheat or anything much. Right, so, spiritual ecstasy. So when did she buy the ticket?
And she was sat outside. And I knew I was buying the ticket.
Yes. And what then had to be true in order for her to be holding that ticket?
That anchors would work.
That anchors exist, and that they work, and that they'll work for me, and that this is a state that I like, and I'd like to have more of, and... Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Great. So, can you remember a time when you experienced spiritual ecstasy?
Yes.
Yeah. And...
a different one than that?
Actually, yeah, pick a different one if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, you got one?
Yep.
And... how long ago was that?
No, that was this morning too.
That was this morning. Okay.
Do you think of one further back?
No, it's fine, I was joking.
I think she might have the anchor for this one captured already.
Yeah.
There's something already working for you.
So,
There's another one.
the by the book way is we work through the submodalities. So we work through what do you see when you experienced spiritual ecstasy, what did you hear, what did you feel, that sort of thing. So let's just give that we'll give that a go for a couple of minutes. So what did you see when you remember that experience of spiritual ecstasy?
Well, the thing is that what I actually physically saw wasn't any different.
Mm-hmm.
The colours might have been a bit more intense.
Colours more intense. Okay, and were there any sounds associated with it?
Just the sounds that were present at the moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to, I'm recreating. I'm realizing there was, just somehow felt more special.
Felt more special.
Everything got more special.
So what, can you describe the physical sensation of that felt more special?
What made it more special is making more real. So where is more real? And when I'm feeling more real is all over. It's such a cool experience. It's back to your glowing stuff. Actually, it's kind of all tingly.
It's all tingly all over.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, did you drive it this morning? You said, and from Brighton, was it?
No,
London.
from
London, Greenwich. Of course, yeah. How long did that take you this morning?
2 hours.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is kind of picture in your mind that scene that gave you that feeling of spiritual ecstasy, and get that, and remember that, recall that feeling of tingling all over.
Okay.
And what I want to do is imagine you can tingle it a little bit more.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Start tingling it. Tingly feeling.
Feels cool.
And stop.
Okay.
Stop. And what was lunch?
Not so tingly.
No. Fish cakes not tingly? No. That'll be the salmonella, if they are tingly. Salmonella. Tingly. It's like a tingly sensation.
Like tingly, like pre-throw up salmonella.
You know, like when you fruit juice, it's a bit off. Tastes a bit fizzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So can you think of a different time when you felt that feeling of spiritual ecstasy? Okay, that feeling, and you got the tingling, double the tingling. I'll let go. Stop.
Just want to stay there. I'll come back.
All right, you can come back to it. And as you look around the room, what's a colour that seems to stand out as you look around the room?
It's not so much colour, but light itself.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of light, I'm feeling this state, more aware of the way light's reflecting or being absorbed. And this is, everything seems somehow more luminous. Even this awful carpet.
You notice how there's a couple of threads just
Yes.
loose hanging out of the carpet there?
I was wondering if they were threads or something, wires from underneath.
Ah, right, okay. So, right, what I'm going to ask you to do is, in a moment, we're going to do this one more time. I'm going to touch you on the arm. You're going to remember a feeling of spiritual ecstasy and that tingly feeling and that more
You
vivid
want to come up
and
with a fourth
alive.
one?
Yeah, come up with another one. In fact, go back to the one this morning, the first one you thought about.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay, bring that to mind. And really feel the tingling, and double the tingling, and then stop. And how many cars can you see out the window?
More than I can count all at once.
You can count them one at a time. That would be all right. Okay, that's enough. Sorry? So, what I'm going to do is...
17.
Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch you on the arm, and all I want you to do is just honestly let me know anything that you... sensations or any experience that you have when I touch you on the arm, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Oh, that's so cool. I got flooded with that peace and that tingly stuff and just that total acceptance of everything, and yeah, that is so cool.
That's strange.
Isn't it? Fabulous.
Okay, so...
I've never had an egger before, but I just...
Really?
Truly. Not that I know of. Of course, I must have had millions and millions. But
Sure, well, it seems like you have lots of memories that evoke strong emotional responses.
for instance.
And they may not be touches on the arm,
Mm.
but, works the same way. So, what have you noticed?
Process-wise, the whole thing.
Sure?
You're breaking the state.
Yeah.
Yes?
You're breaking the state.
Why?
Don't know why.
So
Start back from scratch.
you're creating a neuro association. So I thought it was brilliant, the string. Shoshana said, well, even this horrible carpet, I can get some great feeling from it. And then you focusing attention specifically on the string. Shoshona's mind, the focus of Shoshona then switched to the string, not to the feeling she had. So immediately the ecstasy was flushed from the system, to use a plumbing metaphor. And then you can start again and re-anchor specifically one thing.
Why?
Because
This is very important.
you want to create an association with touch, exclusively the touch to that spiritual ecstasy feeling.
To the spiritual ecstasy feeling?
We want to make it an unconscious process because you've got to get the feelings out of the body to start again, to make it a conscious repetition.
You're almost there.
It's to train Shoshana to recreate anchoring of anything.
But I'm thinking of Pavlov and the dog.
Yes.
So if you're feeding the dogs constantly and ringing the bell constantly, it wouldn't work. They wouldn't get conditioned. They have to have
Yes.
experience of not bell and not food.
So it's not,
Yes.
it's not the spiritual ecstasy,
Yes.
it's a reaction to the spiritual
Yes,
ecstasy.
it's...
Have feeling about it. Or her experience of it.
Giving you a clean slate to start.
If you read a lot of NLP introductory books and you look at the chapter on anchoring, you'll find it says something like this, that you should anchor a state when it peaks. Wrong! Why?
Because it's gone over.
How do you know when you're at the top of a hill? Because you start going down again. Messy. No. Horrible. Make it go away. The anchor that wouldn't die. Right. What do we really want to do? Why?
Because you're anchoring an increase.
We're anchoring an increase. Not necessarily. We could make a relaxation anchor. We could make an anchor going up or going down. Either way, what are we anchoring?
You're anchoring the change.
Change, yes. We anchor the change. We anchor the transition. That's what we understand. Our senses don't work in absolute measures, they work relative. So to get anchoring to work, we're not anchoring the intensity, we're anchoring the change, which makes one thing extraordinarily vital when you're using anchoring. And what might that be?
Observation.
Observation, so that you can get the what right.
Calibration.
Calibration, I would say, is
So you can get the upward thing right.
yes. Timing, yes. Timing, absolutely. Timing is the most important thing in anchoring. Second most important thing is, do you think it would work if for the first time I anchored Shoshana here, and the second time here, and the second time here, and the third time here? Consistency. Timing and consistency. If you read any of those old introductions to NLP, they don't have that in there. And that's why, if you just go by that definition of anchoring, it's hard to get it to work consistently and to get the big shifts in state that you can get with an effective anchor, just like Donna's glowing. Donna, imagine throwing a piece of paper like a naughty schoolgirl. Okay? Shoshana, what happens if I touch you on the hand there? Okay? Right, okay? Timing and consistency.